All right, well, Ellen, my name is Laura, and I'll be working with you over the next couple weeks. So today's session will be a little shorter. It'll be just about 15 to 20 minutes, but in the future we'll have some longer sessions where we can work together more. But today we're just kind of getting together to talk about you and kind of get to know you and anything you'd like to share. But before we get started, I just want you to know that this is a safe place and you can feel comfortable. I want you to feel comfortable coming here and sharing whatever you want. It's confidential. So nothing will leave this room unless I feel that you become a threat to yourself or to others, and then I have to share information. But unless that happens, what is said here and shared here will not be shared with other people beyond this room. So I want this to be a safe place for you. And so if you don't have any questions about that, then we will go ahead and just get started. Do you mind if I just take a few notes while we...
Of course, no, that's
okay. Just so that I can remember each week kind of what we talked about, and it's just for my benefit, so don't worry. But just if you want to just start off by telling me what brought you here today, and just we'll go from there.
Well, I'm a single mom. I had 2 children. I have a boy and a girl. My boy he's 3 and my little girl is 6. Their dad ran off and left when they were really young. So it kind of left me to fend for myself and to take care of my children. And I work really, really hard. I work night shifts. I'm a receptionist at a local hotel. And so I work all night long and I don't really get an opportunity to sleep. So I sleep during the day. And my children are in daycare during the day, but late afternoons, then I pick them up and they come home, but I still tend to go and take a nap. Well, where I live in government housing, the doors are not exactly the best. There's no locks, and when there are locks, they're not very good. And my little 3-year-old last week happened to get out of the house, and he was wandering around outside unsupervised, and one of the probation officers from the government housing where I live happened to see him and asked him if he regularly goes out and plays by himself without an adult, and he said yes. And so he was taken into child custody. And I just want to assure you that I love my children. I work hard for my children, and in no way would I ever try to purposefully leave them unsupervised. But I was taking a nap because I was so tired, and he happened to slip out. And I can't believe that happened, and I want to work so hard to get him back.
So you were taking a nap while he was just out in the living room, or where was he?
He was playing in the living room with his sister.
And the sister stayed in the living room?
Well, she's a little bit older. She knows better than to leave the house.
Okay.
And from what she told me, she tried to assure him that he did not need to run out, but she knew better than to leave. And I don't know why she didn't come wake me up.
Okay. And is that, well, you said that the little boy told the probation officer that he often plays by himself. I mean, is that true? Like, has he gotten out before? Or is it usually just in the apartment, totally contained?
Not unless I know where he is. He may go out with a neighbor, but he's supervised by someone who's older than him.
Okay. So when you mentioned that you frequently take naps when you come from work. Is there usually someone that you can have that come over and watch the kid, or you just... It's always this kind of...
I can't afford that. I don't have the money to pay someone. Sometimes the neighbors will help me out, but my neighbor happened to be gone this particular day. But a lot of times the neighbors will help me. But that particular day, she was gone, and there wasn't really anybody else. And I was exhausted, and I had to sleep before work that night.
Okay.
And I'm really afraid that I'm going to lose my daughter, too, because I don't want them to think that I'm an unfit mother. But I have to work really hard for my children.
So maybe what I'm hearing is that maybe you're not totally opposed to having someone watch the kid if you had the money. That it's really just more of a money issue.
No, I would not. I daycare is provided for me through
Mhm.
social services already, and they help me out at the beginning of the day. But
Right.
later on, I don't really have that option, and I usually work from like 2 in the morning until depends on what my schedule is, but usually the middle of the night until early morning, early afternoon.
Okay. Well, it sounds to me like you are a really good mom who's really trying to provide for your kids, and I really respect that, and I know your kids appreciate that, and that that they know that you care for them and are doing all that you can. And I understand that it can be really hard, especially being a single parent and having to try to balance this, late shift with raising kids who are young. I mean, 3 is really young to still have to
He's a
take care
handful,
of.
but he's
I
so
bet.
fun.
I'm sure it's worth it.
I just
though,
wish I had more time to spend with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't want you all to think that I'm an unfit mother, because I'm not, and I really care about my children.
No, we don't. I mean, we do not judge you for that at all, by any means. And we understand that it is really hard to try to make ends meet. And an expense of having another babysitter or something can be really difficult.
So how can you help me?
Well, what I was thinking is that if you're open to maybe letting someone else, watch your children in the evenings or the afternoons when you want to take a nap, there's some grant money that we have that's local that can be given out to single parents like yourself to support, either you can opt to either take your child to a daycare or have a babysitter come. And I know ideally most parents wish they had a family member or someone else that could watch their child. But in some situations like yourself, where you don't have you don't have a spouse or anyone, or, a teenager.
Well, I usually take the kids to my mom's house at night, and then she drops them off at the daycare. But she can't get them before a certain time because she works.
Right.
As soon as she works during the day, and so she takes them to daycare and then works all day.
Right. So the period that you're taking your nap is in that window where
she's
can't.
Not available.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking. If you're not opposed to it, even if it was just for like an hour, just having someone come sit with the kids while you took a nap before your mom came. Was that something that you could see working, or do we need to kind of look for another solution?
I could see that working. I just can't really afford babysitters. They're a little bit expensive.
Right, and that's what the grant money would totally cover. So you would get an allotted amount to be used just for that. So not for food or anything else, just the babysitting. But if it's just, an hour or two, you would just let us know what that window period is that you kind of need someone.
I just want my little boy back.
Oh, I know. And you're such a good mom that it would be great if he could be with you. So I'll write this down, and we'll get you in touch with Mrs. Kurtz, who will kind of do the paperwork to get that grant money allocated to you for that. Is there anything else that we can kind of help you with today? Anything with your work? What about the 6-year-old? So is she going to school most of the day, where it's just the 3-year-old being left at home?
Because she's in kindergarten.
Okay,
but he's not old enough yet.
Right.
So he goes to daycare, and then she goes to after school care with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually want to sleep and take a nap before I go back to work at night.
Right.
So.
Well, is it, timing-wise, when she gets out of school, is it something where you would want the babysitter to also be around that time period where she could get picked up and you wouldn't have to run over and get her? Because we could kind of fit the timing right to where that period's taken care of and your nap. How does it fall with your nap time, I guess?
Well, if I could meet the person first, I would be fine with. I would prefer that it be a female, but if that be possible, I would be okay with her picking up the children.
Right. And that's what we'll have. There will be like a preliminary meeting where you will get to know the person, so that they don't just show up at your door and you hand your kids over to them or anything like that. So no, we want you to feel comfortable. We do have several babysitters that we recommend that have gone through our process, background checks, so that you know that we're giving you somebody that you can trust and that will take good care of your kids. They have lots of experience and would totally be capable of taking care of your 2 children the couple hours that you need to just kind of be to yourself and make sure that you're in good shape so that you can continue to be a great mom for your children. Because we don't want you to get all worn out and, not be able to just take the time to be with them and stuff like that. So we really want to help you out and help you continue your role as their mom.
Well, this wouldn't be as hard if it wasn't for the fact that their dad, I was not married to him, so he's not really required to pay any sort of child support or anything. So I'm on my own, and he does nothing, and I really don't even know where he is now.
So they don't see him at all?
Oh, no. No. And I wouldn't permit them to, even if he was interested.
Okay. He doesn't ever try to come back and get reconnected with them or contact you or anything?
He doesn't want anything to do with any of us.
He's gone. Okay. Okay. Well, do you have any other questions for us or any other things that we can help you with?
No, you've been very helpful, and I appreciate it a lot.
Okay, well, just you have my card, you have my number, you can contact us anytime you need something. We'll send you the paperwork, and I just want you to know that we really support your efforts. I know that it probably had to be very traumatizing for you to experience your child being taken away from you. And from what it sounds like, you are a great mom who's really trying your hardest to make ends meet and to be there for your kids, and there's no shame in that. That's wonderful. And so our role is just kind of help you to continue to do that. We're here to help you. We support you in your efforts, and it's really nice to see that you came in today, that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get your son back. So we just want you to know that. And if you have any other issues, no problem. We'll be here, so we'll be meeting in a couple weeks. We'll just meet back here again. And like I said, it'll be a little longer of a meeting, but I might see if I can get the babysitter all lined up so that when you come, you've already met her, and we can kind of talk about how that's going. So how you feel about her before we put her in place. If you have any concerns or something like that, the next session will kind of be devoted maybe to that, the next step of getting the babysitter in place. So
I do have one more question.
Yeah, of course.
What can be done to get my son back?
Well, you have been sent here because the courts have. Is that realistic? The courts have required you to seek assistance to make sure that they want to have some kind of supervision over the family situation. So I think it's 6 sessions you'll come with us. You'll come to us for, and we will talk about the progress that we're making with the babysitter and see if the situation at home is improving in terms of supervision of the kids, making sure they're supervised at all times, while also allowing you the chance to take a nap and kind of revamp up before you go to work. Because we know that you have to go to work, and you can't do that on 0 sleep. So that's a very important aspect of this. So I think that if we continue to work towards that goal of getting a routine and schedule set up that allows both of those things to happen, then we'll go before the courts again, and I will testify that you have put in a lot of effort, and I will describe the progress that I've seen, and they will have a new reevaluation of your circumstance. So just keep at it, and we will get there. I know that you're totally capable of fulfilling the demands that they have put on you, and I think that we have a great plan that allows you to continue with your job without adding more strains to your family situation. So we want what's best for you and for the kids. So I think, do you feel good about this plan? Is this something that you foresee working out?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Well, great. Well, then we'll see you next time. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can just call my office.
All right. Well, thank you very much.